Yeah. Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the session. My name is Dheeraj Goyal. I am a technical specialist at Microsoft, and I'm primarily focusing on Azure Arc and also Azure VMware Solution, right? So today I would like to just give you a brief introduction of what Azure Arc is. So have you guys heard of it? You might have heard of it. It's quite a popular tool, right? So exactly, Arc is exactly a hybrid platform management tool. And when I say hybrid platform management tool, it means it gives you the ability to project your on-prem systems, your on-prem workloads in the Azure portal, right? So for example, you have your on-prem vSphere environment, you have your on-prem Hyper-V, and then you have your stuff in Azure portal as well. What Azure Arc does is it gives you the capability to basically manage your on-prem workloads in the Azure portal, right? So being a techie, I will not show you just the slides. I will also show you things in action, how it actually looks like. So if you see on the screen here, these are the main benefits that Azure Arc provides, right? So virtual machine lifecycle, fabric operations, single pane view, and Azure management services. Virtual machine lifecycle means whatever type of workloads you are running in your on-prem, it could be your VMs running on vSphere, it could be on your Hyper-V, it could be even your Azure Stack HCI, SQL servers, whatever type of workloads you have, you can manage those in the Azure portal, right? So when we talk about application or server modernization, we have two options, right? You can either migrate to the cloud, but that is not always as easy as it seems, right? So then if you want to have, if you want to take some more time to modernize, you can still leverage Azure native services and consider your on-prem resources exactly as cloud resources, basically. So that is exactly what R provides. Virtual machine lifecycle means you can manage your, VMware or whatever type of VMs in the Azure portal. Fabric operations, and this is exactly where the benefits comes in, right? Another good thing I would like to mention here is that Azure Arc itself doesn't have a cost. So it is just a feature that you can start leveraging directly in the Azure portal. And then you will incur cost when you start leveraging Azure native services along with. For example, let's say you are running 500 VMs or whatever in your on-prem VMware environment, and let's say you want to use Azure native backup services. One example is, or one option is that you use Azure native backup server, you deploy a backup server, you manage the backup server and so on. That doesn't seem very interesting because you have to manage the backup server, you have to keep it up and running, and you have to patch it and so on, right? But with Azure Arc, you have a better option. What you can do with Azure Arc is that you can connect to Azure native fabric services. And when I say fabric service means like the backup and DR and log analytics and everything that runs at the backend. So now, through Arc integration, you can leverage, let's say, Azure Backup directly without any need to deploy any backup server, without any need to manage any backup server. You can directly just manage the VM in the Azure portal, go to backup and DR and log analytics stuff. You can install the agents remotely. You can fetch the logs, and then you can use log analytics or Azure Monitor and stuff. So basically, the point is that it gives you a way to manage your on-prem systems into the cloud, right? So that is the main benefit here. And as I said, from the feature perspective, there is no cost. And quickly, I would like to show you how it looks like in the Azure portal. Oh, yes. So yeah, if you see, this is the typical Azure portal that you all might have seen, right? So far, you may have seen only the blue icons, which are the virtual machines. So the blue icons here are native resources, right? But now, through Arc integration, you can see, let's say, the green icons here. And this is actually a VM that runs in VMware. Right now, it is in AVS, in VMware on Azure, but it could be your on-prem vCenter as well, right? So as you see, it says AVS virtual machine. If it was not an AVS, it will simply say like a VMware machine. And then, as you can see, I can manage the VM directly in the Azure portal. You will notice the difference when I go to networking, right? In the networking, you can see that it is VMXNet 3. So this is, of course, a VMware operation. And you will realize the difference here. When you want to resize the VM, if it was a native Azure resource, you would have seen the typical standard T-shirt sizes like DS3, 4 and stuff. But since it is a VMware operation, you can directly change the CPU and memory directly from the Azure portal. In short, the point is that whatever you can do in your on-prem VMware environment, now you can do that in Azure portal, and you really do not need to even log into the vCenter at all. So that is just one small example. More powerful thing is you can also add extensions Okay, it is not configured right now. So extensions means you can basically push agents, and you can also run remote scripts, right? So for example, you have your whatever 500 or 1000 VMs running in your on-prem vCenter. You can push some kind of remote script. If you want to copy something, if you want to install something, you can do that directly through Arc integration, right? And then this is a very good thing. When we talk to our customers who are very much into Azure, they would usually ask that, okay, we have a lot of Azure stuff, and then we have a lot of on-prem VMware stuff. Can we use our Azure policies for our on-prem VMware environment as well? And this is really good that we have it now. So you can probably, let's say, create a policy that, okay, a user should not be able to create a VM with more than 8 gigs of RAM or with more than four CPUs or something like that. So you can create and enforce those kind of policy to keep your environment compliant and maybe more efficient, right? So this is a very, very powerful thing here. And then I would like to show you, okay, it is not open yet. Sorry. Okay. So the point is that, as I said, Fabric services, you can actually manage the backup services and the DR services, which are actually right now in preview. Those are not available yet. But what you can do is, when you go to the native Azure VM, you can configure the backup and DR of the VM directly from the Azure portal. Now you can do the same thing for your on-prem VMware infrastructure as well. And this kind of hybrid environment, this is actually available for all types of resources. So for example, when I go to, okay. I'm sorry for that. So that's what happens in the live lab sessions. Just give me 1 minute. Sorry for that. But okay, maybe we do not have much time. But okay, so let us keep it a little bit short. As I said, with Arc, you can manage the Azure Fabric services, and that is the main message, or that is the main benefit that you can see, right? So you can manage the native Azure services along with Arc for your on-prem resources. And on-prem resources could be anything. It could be your on-prem VMware environment, it could be your vSphere, it could be your Azure Stack HCI or whatever. So that's what Arc provides you. So yeah, I think that's a quick introduction of Arc. And if you want to know more, you can probably just head to the Microsoft booth, and maybe we will be able to show you more. I mean, today it's a little bit of a chaos because of the lab here, but okay then. So thanks for your time. And if you need more information, you can just visit the Microsoft booth over there. Okay? Thank you.